Hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ. So let's get into the top 4 topics of today. It's summertime, so we're really dredging the bottom of the barrel. But hey, we're coming to you, and we're bringing you the best information we can. So over at the Blackhawk Up, Todd Matthews had some thoughts about moves that the Hawks need to do before September. So he's got 3 of them. I would love to get y'all's take on these 3 thoughts. So, A, trade Laurent Brossoit, right? So we kind of covered this yesterday. We have so many goalies, and it seems to be trading him is on everyone's mind. He's never kind of suited up for the team. I like to call him our favorite ghost payrollee. And he's a good number 2 netminder who deserves to play for a contender. So, look, he's definitely qualified from a trade bait perspective. He's the one that has some good value that we can get right off the bat. So as long as he's healthy, with Soderblom going through arbitration and most likely coming back to the Hawks, Brossoit is kind of the odd man out and an eventual luxury that we can probably do without. So sure. All right. I get that. Trading Brossoit, even though I would love to have Knight and Brossoit, but I mean, he's his name's on the cup, but I get it. All right, number 2, he says, or B, extend Connor Bedard. Yeah, yes, and yes. Actually, personally, not loving it's been taking this long to get this done, but I'm not in those rooms, right? So would have loved to have gotten this done quickly, transparently, and loudly. Show Bedard's camp and the fans we're all on the same page, that we're looking towards the long haul. We're looking towards building an exciting future together. Stop all these shenanigans. Just get it done. We know we want him for the future, so just sign him already. It's like the biggest no-brainer of the offseason. C, he says, trade Ilya Mikheyev. I'm on the fence on this one. So Matthew feels that we should trade him now while he still has value and reap those rewards. I get that. Totally get it. Mikheyev has also been touted as being one of the most underrated gems that we have on the roster. So last year, he had his best year ever. He had 20 goals, 14 assists in 80 games. He pitched in 3 short-handed goals on the penalty kill. So, yeah, he's 30. And we all know, like, the whole make room for the youngsters argument. But we've also been talking about the scarcity of veteran leadership on the team. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those like bird in one hand is better than 2 in the bush kind of situations, actually. So what do you guys think? Let us know. I mean, do you agree with these 3? Is there another one that you think that we should do before September? I mean, we're about a month away, a little over a month away before training camp starts. So I don't know. There's things that can be done. Speaking of that, let's take a look at some sad news. So it's rare that we get to talk about elite hockey players from Scotland, but it's also tragic when we have to discuss them in memoriam. So we had learned that there's a player by the name of Gary Kelly, Scottish, as we mentioned, of the Aberdeen Lynx, who passed away in Ibiza in an apparent accident at his hotel. I think he fell off a balcony, unfortunately. It's a blow to the international community for sure. And to all of us, when any youth uses their life so young, right? All that potential that's just lost. It's terrible. He was 19. You know, I have kids older than that. I have some kids right around that age. It's heart-wrenching. So even though at 19 he accomplished a lot, last season he had scored 75 points. He had 45 goals and 31 assists in 54 games. So he was kind of ripping it up. The British Isles really aren't well known for burgeoning hockey players or having a very strong support for hockey, but the sport's been growing, and certainly he was one of their youngest stars. So we send all of our condolences, our best wishes, and all of our love and aloha to his family, his friends, and his teammates during this time. So all of our best wishes to the Kelly family. Very, very sorry for their loss. Transitioning off of that, let's talk about rumors. So That's all we got during this offseason. There's no big trades. So let's talk about rumors. There have been some pretty wild rumors in Blackhawks history, and more recent Blackhawks history that I think a lot of you will remember. So let's talk about those, especially the ones that never came true, but actually one that did twice. So one that came to mind was Patrick Kane going to the Sabres back in the 2014-2015 era. So the rumor was that, if you remember Kane's off-ice legal investigation, during that time there was like a lot of speculation that the Blackhawks were working on a deal to send him back to his hometown team of the Sabres and to kind of move on from that PR disaster, right? So hopefully there was going to be a huge return package involving high picks and a top prospect at that time, Sam Reinhart. It was ridiculous because Kane was in his prime and one of the top players in the league. So despite the PR issues, trading a franchise cornerstone with years left on his deal, highly unlikely. And it was, right? Rumor, false. The Blackhawks stood by him, and he went on to win the Hart Trophy in 2016. Number two rumor that was pretty wild that didn't come to fruition, thank God. Duncan Keith being traded for Shea Weber back in 2011. So around the 2011 offseason, there was a rumor circulating in Canadian sports radio and forums like HF boards that the Blackhawks were working on a swap, Duncan Keith for Shea Weber. Then he was the Predators' elite blue liner. The idea was that Nashville wanted a Norris caliber defenseman with a longer term deal, and Chicago wanted a more physical upgrade. So it was kind of ridiculous. Both players were elite, Norris caliber, central to their teams. It made little sense for them to swap places. Result was false, never materialized. Number three, Brent Seabrook being traded to the Oilers in 2018. After Seabrook's performance declined and his contract ballooned, there was persistent rumors he'd be traded to Edmonton, potentially for a salary dump move. So it was rumored that the Blackhawks would retain his salary or add a sweetener like a pick or a prospect to move his pretty high salary, $6.875 million per year. Why it was ridiculous, though, Seabrook had a full no-move clause. The Oilers had cap issues of their own, so his value was far below his cap hit. So the result was false. He stayed in Chicago and effectively retired due to injury in 2021. So now a wild rumor that turned out to be true, and I remember hearing about this and saying, never. Brandon Saad being traded in 2015 and then again in 2017. In 2015, fans, such as myself, scoffed, which I did, at the rumors that Chicago would trade young fan favorite Brandon Saad after the Cup win due to salary cap pressure. And I was like, there's no way. Saad is young. He's so fast. His breakaway. We're not going to trade him. And then we did. We traded him to Columbus for Artem Anisimov and others. And then in 2017, rumors were, again, he'd come back to Chicago for a deal for Artemi Panarin. And we thought that was a joke, and then it happened. So, hey, sometimes rumors, even though they can be far-fetched, they can come true. You never know. And some hot takes. We're a little light on the hot takes today, but well, still worth mentioning. Beans 7014 says, "Let's go Hawks." Love it. Absolutely, Beans. Brandon Potts 54 says, "Love the channel." No, Brandon, the channel loves you. So thank you very much. Art of Stoicism P1C says, "Who's Gordon Kyrou?" I am going to assume that I mispronounced Jordan Kyrou's name and said Gordon instead of Jordan. I wonder why I would have said something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what influenced me as to why I would have said that? But I apologize if I had missaid a name. So there we go. Beans also laughed with Gordon. Whatever, Beans. And then Tom Filipiak 3511 says, "Is it true that Chicago Sports Network is on Comcast? Wonders never cease." And everything I've seen, it's true. Channel 200, You got to shell out the bucks for it, but it's on there. So that's a wrap for today, folks. Thank you so much, Blackhawks Nation. Let me know your thoughts. The season's dry. The off season's very dry, right? So we're digging the bottom of the barrel, as we said. So I'm going to start trying to come up with some tidbits that are interesting for you guys. Hawks history. I want to kind of dig into the Chicago Stadium history, because I really love the Chicago Stadium. If you guys hadn't had a chance to check it out before it was torn down, that's too bad. It was really a very unique place to see the games. And just like, it is our 100th year, so might as well bust out some of the Hawks history as well. We got many weeks before the puck drops, so might as well dig in and learn about the Hawks and everything else. So I'm going to enjoy sharing a lot of that stuff with you. Of course, if there's any big trades or anything like that, we're going to cover that. Any big rumors, we're going to cover that as well. But thanks for spending so much time with me, guys. Thank you for tuning in every day, every weekday, that is. And, get your daily download, share with your friends and neighbors, impress them all, of course, as you guys impress me every day. Let's keep up the fandom, and let's go Hawks, as Bean said, for this wonderful Original Six team. And, just like and subscribe and share about the channel. I know you guys have. You guys have reinforced that for me, so I really do appreciate it. And thanks for spending some time with me. So one day we're gonna share some beers, and who knows? Maybe we should do a fantasy hockey league this year. Maybe we should do that. That would be fun. I'll have to investigate that as well. That could be a lot of fun. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm PJ, and we'll see you next time on Blackhawks Daily.